Viking Reefing here. This is the newest member of the Viking Reefing family. His name is Lou, and he's a 12-week-old Maine Coon. So you might hear him throughout the video causing a ruckus, and apparently he likes to tripod as well, which might kind of give some sort of a shaky cam effect. He's a good little dude, and we got him like 3 days ago, and yeah, we're having a lot of fun, and my daughter loves him. But yeah, I probably apologize if he kind of messes with the tripod. Yeah, I'll be letting you down now, boy. And there he goes. Awesome. I'm also a bit hoarse because I've got some sort of a cold going on. The joys of having kids. But enough complaining. This video is centered around a slight rescape that I'm planning. I realized that I kind of screwed up when I built my scape. I built this island way too tall. So I'll be basically almost cutting it in half. Because when you get a good amount of coral growth, it really restricts flow. And it was even worse before I had my bout with velvet. I dosed a heap of hydrogen peroxide because it had a huge pink melicopora here as well, which basically just choked off all the flow from the rear MP40. So what I'll be doing today is that I'll be, well, using my trusted old bone cutters and see if I can somehow snap off the top part of that, well, basically pillar. My first thought was that I would snap off that part and try to just somehow angle it or something, but I kind of realized that, yeah, that's probably a no-go. And luckily I do have quite a lot of live rock in my sump, and I think I have a very nice flat piece that would work well right here, and that would allow flow to move over the corals instead of just crashing into them and making it so that there's like a stagnant point just behind that pillar. So wish me luck. I'll probably have to get halfway into the tank to snap this thing off. Luckily it's made of Aquaforest live rock, I think it's called. Which is basically zeolite, so it's very porous and not overly hard. So if I'm lucky, I'll be able to snap that off. And if I remember correctly as well, I used Reef cement on that particular joint here. So if everything goes well, it shouldn't be too much of an issue. So well, let's get into the tank. I'm sure that this has about 100 different ways to turn into complete crap, so let's hope that we don't screw anything up too badly. Okay. I mean, here goes nothing, I guess. It's relatively easy to cut at least, so that's always something. I wonder how long it's going to be taking for the cat to jump up on my, like, pant legging. Can't really see all that well if I stick both my hands in here. I would really like to have both my hands in here to stabilize this thing. The joys of having a big tank, I guess. Oh, that won't work. Everything might be kind of fused together, which might be kind of a headache, which might make this more difficult than it would be otherwise. It looks like there might be a joint back here, which I could use to kind of crowbar off some stuff. The thing is that this entire structure right now is all fused together, so I really don't want to be able to have to move everything here out of the tank, so that's why I'm trying to do this with this thing still inside of the tank. Which is kind of a major pain in the ass, to be honest. If I'm being honest with myself, I've been putting this off for far too long because I knew that it would be such a pain in the butt to do, so like looking at the tank each and every day, go like, yeah, I should really get on top of that. But now finally I mustered up the courage to do something. kind of dramatic, I guess. I don't think anything overly bad happened. Get that snail out of there. So, as you can see, this was a fairly substantial piece. Oops, broke up some of that Joker acro. Oops, knocked it on the freaking cross beams. Okay, so here's kind of the lame part. I need to get the acros off. I mean, there's no good way of doing this, so I just have to start cutting, I guess. Luckily, I have a lot of styrofoam boxes, so I figured I'd probably place that whole chunk in here, and that should like prevent most of the water spillage and like some coral shrapnel from flying about. So let's try and get this big chunk in there without making too much of a mess. One plus with having kids, I have a step stool. Because I somehow misplaced my actual one. Without smacking the lights with a Pikachu acro. I guess I can smack it with a Joker acro, that's fine. Oh, that's certainly a big change from what it was before. So let's have a look here. He's also having a look, I guess. So there's no like way to be super gentle or anything. I just have to cut this thing off. See if I can do it with one hand. Might need some purchase to be able to do this, but fingers crossed. Normally I might use like a Dremel or something, but my daughter's asleep, which probably would wake her up. Ah, there we go. That's one. And let's have a look at this thing. If there are any good places to just get most of it off. Looks like I won't be able to get this thing in one piece. There's probably no way, but looks like I should be able to get a fair amount of it. Might have to give some friends some frags. Dude. Are you like intentionally being difficult, little buddy? Am I cutting coral or am I cutting rock? I guess that's part of the coral. It doesn't really matter because it's all rock anyways. Well, that didn't go spectacularly, now did it? Let's see here then. This looks slightly more promising at least. Maybe I can just like pry it off. That sometimes works. Haha! And I managed to cut myself. Fair trade. It was a decent chunk, I must say. I think it actually swallowed up a dead frag here as well. Cool, cool. Awesome. I guess I have to wash this cut off. Don't want to get that weird, what's it called, marinarium something infection. Well, see you in a bit. So this is the piece of live rock. Whoops, there was a snail on there. So this is the piece of live rock I'm planning on using. I think I've had this piece for almost 10 years or something. And it's actual real live rock, so you can see it's a former coral. It did have some adaptation or nasties from sitting in the sump. Luckily I have a copper bound butterfly in QT that should take care of this as soon as he enters this tank, and some nice like vermeted snails and stuff as well. Awesome. I think I have to move that Saltwater before I put this in here, so I'll get to that now. This thing won't be all that encrusted. This is one of those random corals which I just placed here. Whoops, daisy. Woke up some frogs. Well, again, I guess some friends are going to be happy. I just placed this one here because I didn't really have a spot for it, and then it just kind of, well, it was left to its own devices and kind of started figuring things out on its own. I wonder how badly it's in here. Maybe if I go from this direction. Aha! Oops. And it's off. Huh. This was kind of a large colony. You can basically see that a lot of it has died off because it hasn't gotten any light. So yeah, I need to find a good place for this as well. Oops, and my armpit got wet. Awesome. Hey, God damn it, dude. Get out of there. That was a Miyagi tort I used to have there. The thing was that I managed to crash my nutrients lately, since my fish stock is a lot less at the moment. Apparently I didn't really adjust my filtration enough, so, well, basically all nutrients within the system got stripped out. Does that look good? Not sure. Wow, nice. Some vermeted snails which poked me. Awesome. But that certainly didn't look good. More did that. And I really don't want to put it up against the glass because it's a pain in the butt to scrape the glass when you do that, and it's going to be restricting flow as well. So that would be a decent solution, but as I said, it's up against the glass and I really don't want that. You should always leave a fair amount of space between the glass and the scape. I actually think that looks decent. How stable is it though? Yeah, it's quite stable there actually. It kind of gives, so I flipped it upside down. So this kind of gives it a nice arching effect below it. So you kind of get some, like a little swim-in cave if you swim into it from the back. I think we're going to be trying that, honestly. Now it's my not so favorite part, and that's gluing corals. This always freaking sucks. The issue here is that the torches are so freaking big, so I think that they might actually sting this guy. It's up here. This is the most valuable coral in the world, so let's give it a go. No one remembers a coward anyways. think I'll just try and smear stuff on this flat part here and just like jam it into the back or something. Probably use a whole tube of super glue to get this done. I don't really feel that there's much point in skimping at this point. Okay, that's basically a tube of super glue. Let's hope this actually works. I'm gonna need some more glue. Hold, you bastard, hold! Okay, looks good. We're gonna call that a success. Since I used a whole freaking tube on that thing, I need more glue. Okay, so I found me some more super glue, and something I actually forgot to do. The first one is to remove like detritus and stuff from the rock where you're going to be gluing it. So I'm gonna be doing that now. There's a couple of tails here as well. I'll remove those. We're doing this. These guys are tough. Come on. Super. And the cat is still thinking I'm not paying him enough attention. So let's get cracking on this Pikachu. Have to dry it off as well. Forgot that on the other one. There's no real point in skimping, as I said. The worst thing that can happen is that you don't get the coral to properly attach, and then you have to use more glue. So generally, let it just go kind of hog wild, at least in my opinion. Another one in an angle. That angle was a bit steeper than I initially planned, but I think it turned out all right. And we're back. This is actually the next day. I just got home from the office. I kind of ran out of daylight yesterday, or well, tank light. I started this project fairly late in the evening yesterday, and as always, stuff always takes a heck of a lot longer than expected. So yeah, well, this is the finished result. You can see I got the corals glued onto the rock, and the angelfish have been really happy because since this was one of the rocks that I had in my sump, it was loaded with sponges and stuff. So they've been pecking on it since I got home and been watching the tank basically. I think this actually came out very nicely. There's a unobstructed flow path, so now I can see the flow easily passes over the corals and they're not really getting blasted. And I can also see that there's better flow throughout the tank. I think I also should be able to adjust the MB40s, at least the one that's close to the back wall. So I'll get more of a kind of a turbulent effect so they really kind of hit each other in the middle. But let's take a closer look. And as you can see here, I think this looks fairly good, to be honest with you. I'm very happy of how it came out, and I probably have a bunch of more space to place corals. Since the tank has been kind of unstable since my issues with velvet and all the treatments I did to it, I haven't been wanting to add any more corals, but I'm slowly working my way towards that point. So as you can see here, there's a heap of space. Move out, you obvious. There's a heap of space here where I could place, like, I think I would be able to fit at least 2 or 3 colonies. Here I have a a fairly substantial chunk of green slimer that I managed to break off some time ago. I'll hand this over to a friend or something. And this needs some serious fragging, even though some of my corals have been doing very poorly. This green slimer just keeps on growing and growing and growing. So yeah. And perhaps you can see that my sand is looking like utter trash. There's a, well, you could say there's a good reason for it, but
I'm actually going to be removing my sand bed, so I've stopped maintenance on it. I'm going to try to make the maintenance of this tank as easy as I can, so that also involves removing the sand. I'll eventually also place the MP40s on the back wall and perhaps get some like gyro pumps or something to place on the ends. I think that would work out quite nicely. And you can really see how freaking big this Hellfire torch has gotten. I mean, this is just insane. I have no clue how many heads are on there, but I really need to do some fragging. So this takes up a huge amount of space here. I think I should be like keep 1/3 of it or something in the tank. I will actually be getting a new custom sump built out of acrylic, and I'll have a dedicated frag section and stuff as well, so that should help a lot, but more on that later. But just in terms of the overall Rescape, I think it came out quite nicely, and after some pruning on, well, primarily the huge torch coral and the volley green slimer, I think I should have some more space to place corals. When I also remove my sand, I'm thinking about getting some more pieces of Arca Rock, which I do have some in my sump, but they are very good at placing on the bottom. Kind of get like a natural reef look, since, to be honest with you, when I've been scuba diving, I haven't seen a lot of sand on the reefs. You have to really go really deep to see actual sand, generally at least. So yeah, that's probably my plan, and since I do have very powerful lights, I could perhaps place some acros on the bottom as well. But that plan isn't really fully hatched into my head just yet, so we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
And that was about it for this video. This was more kind of a vlog style video. Let me know what you think. You like this kind of content, less scripted and just you doing stuff to the tank? What do you think about the new look? Should have done anything different, or you think it came out as good as I think it did? I would really appreciate it if you would hit the like button and perhaps even the subscribe button if you want to follow along on the, well, I guess, rebuilding of this tank and my overall reef system. I do have some very exciting plans moving forward, so I think there should be points of interest for most of you. Well, thank you guys for watching. Be safe, happy reefing, bye.